What's up everyone, today I want to showcase two spammy Pokemon that got even spammier during the latest moveset update, Mandibuzz and Greedent. Mandibuzz of course has access to Aerial Ace, which got its energy cost decreased, which means that the Mandibuzz can now get to 3 Aerial Aces for only 10 Snarls versus the previous 11 it needed. It's not a huge change, but it definitely helps out versus certain fighting types especially. And then Greedent, access to Mudshot now, allowing it to get to Body Slams in just 8 turns, which is absolutely ridiculous. Pairing these two with Diggersby in the back for some extra steel type coverage. Anyway, let's get into this first battle. Dragonite in the lead. Very happy to see this on Mandibuzz. That's definitely my best answer. Still kind of iffy though. But I should be able to survive a move easily, so I'll let it go. Super power though, good play by my opponent, as he does intend to switch out into Deoxys. Interesting switch, but Deoxys definitely takes less from Dark Pulse than Dragonite does, so it's a good play. I'm guessing he's running some kind of ABB here, but I'm staying in here. I don't really want this aligned to my back Pokemon, so I'm fine using my Mandibuzz on this. However, that does mean that the Dragonite will be some trouble later on. By the way, I'm running Dark Pulse on my Mandibuzz here. I think it's better than Foul Play personally. I like the extra damage Dark Pulse does, so it's worth the extra cost to me. For example, versus that Deoxys right now, if I was running Foul Play, I would have needed to throw 3 of them, whereas now I was able to throw 2 Dark Pulses and farm down. Anyway, because I let my Mandibuzz go down, this Dragonite is actually going to be some trouble, as one Body Slam from Greedent does not knock out, and farming down with Mudshot is going to be pretty impossible. Anyway, at this point, I just gotta hope I can reach 3 more Body Slams, and I get to 1 right here. So we're now even shields, one for each player here. I'm gonna shield this up, thinking it would maybe be a superpower. It would knock me out, but it was just a Dragon Claw, which means I could have no-shielded that and survived. However, because I shielded, I might be able to reach another Body Slam, but no, we CMP. This is awful, because I'm pretty sure if they stay in here, they can actually farm up to the superpower before I reach a Scorching Sands, but no, they actually decide to switch out instantly, and this is very good news for me, because that means I can farm up here versus the Mew with my Diggersby and get enough of a Mudshot head start versus the Dragonite to where I can reach a Scorching Sands with it to knock it out, I hope. This Mew does have Surf though, which is tough. 3 of them will knock out, so I need to throw my next Scorching Sands right before their next Surf. Kind of lost track during the battle though, so I throw kind of early, which is fine, because I know if I'm just like 2 Mudshots over the Scorching Sands there, I should be able to outpace the Dragonite easily, and I do. This will knock out the Dragonite, and that's a very good game. Next match, we run into a Magnezone lead, pretty tough. Do 1 Snarl and then switch out into Greedent, but they're gonna throw a charge move here, which I'm just gonna let go. I'm expecting there to be an answer for Greedent in the back. Let this go. Does a ton though, and they bring in Cresselia. It was not really an answer apparently, so I wish I shielded my Greedent now, but it's still fine. You know, when you're running an ABB team like this, generally you don't want to shield your middle Pokemon if they're chipping with their first. That's not always the case, but in this case I did, because generally the goal with this kind of team is to just lure out the answer to normals in this case, so a Medicham. And if they had a Medicham in the back and they would have brought it in right there and I would have already used a shield, that would have been pretty bad. Whereas the way I played it, if they had a Medicham in the back, I would have been in a pretty good spot, because my Diggersby wouldn't be aligned versus it later. Alright, I got the attack drop earlier versus the Cress, which makes this Dark Pulse do less damage, and now I don't have the shield. That's not ideal, but still I got Diggersby here to farm down the Magnezone, and they got a Sableye in the back. This is where Diggersby really shines. It's an amazing core breaker for that steel Sableye core, which has always been very common and probably still common this season, probably a bit less so. Okay, Medicham lead. This is where the buffed Aerial Ace helps Mandibuzz quite a bit. Previously, Medicham was quite good versus Snarl Mandibuzz, just because counters are neutral and Ice Punch is super effective, and the Mandibuzz needs like 2 areas to knock out, and wasn't like that spammy. Now, it's still not a great matchup for Mandibuzz, but it has become slightly better. Steelix came in, and honestly, I wish I threw Dark Pulse against this Steelix before going to my Diggersby, because that would have put this Steelix into a range where a single Scorching Sands would knock out. But it's still fine, because I just knock it out into Outcomes Medicham. Again, I am double debuffed, but Hyper Beam will still do a decent chunk. About this Diggersby moveset, by the way, I think this is the way to go currently. Charge move wise anyway, I don't think you need Fire Punch, because Scorching Sands is already kind of cheap. However, when it comes to fast moves, I do think there's an argument to be made for Quick Attack over Mudshot to hit flyers a little better. However, this team, because Mudshot just makes the matchups versus Steels and rocks like Carbink much better, I went for Mudshot here. But if your team is already strong against Steel types, you might want to consider Quick Attack. Anyway, let's talk about the game, shall we? It has just gotten really boring with this Carbink versus my Greedent. Yeah, this is kind of a problem with this team. Both Mandibuzz and Greedent don't do amazing versus Carbink. Luckily though, I do have both Pokemon basically full health remaining, and I catch a move here, which is really nice. Catch a Psychic. This is big. Now I can knock out the Medicham in the Aerial Ace. This probably doesn't knock out though, but I can farm down and have some Dark Pulses loaded for a Carbink, which don't do a lot. But, you know, it's something at least. It's something. It's also the hardest hitting move. I honestly could consider throwing Aerial Ace here. Maybe I should have done that, because they might just shield, because Dark Pulse from Mandibuzz definitely does more than a Body Slam from Greedent. Do I shield this? No, I don't. I could have... Oh, that doesn't knock out. Yeah, Carbink is annoying. It's also incredibly tanky. Low attack. So moves don't kill easily. I do get to the Aerial Ace there. Bring the Carbink quite low. And now we're gonna be spamming Body Slams again. Like, I don't even know how many Body Slams I've thrown this game, but it must have been millions. Like, Greedent. Just so quick. Get to the Body Slam here. Knock out the Carbink. And that is a good game. Okay, Frost lastly. This is where having Dark Pulse is kind of detrimental. If you're in foul play, you outpace Frostlass to 2 moves. But with Dark Pulse, you will get that on the CMP. So I actually do a risky play and bait with Aerial Ace here. But my opponent doesn't shield. Which is insane. I do not understand that move. But okay, I'll just go for the Dark Pulse next. Take out the Frostlass. Shield down. It's not amazing. Also bring in a Registeel, which I don't really want to see on Mandibuzz. Also still expecting maybe a fighter in the back. Kind of need to save Mandibuzz, so I throw Dark Pulse. Then switch into Greedent to hopefully lure out the fighting type if they do have it. However, I'm going to have to take a move here. Does so much damage. Does so much damage. At this point, I'll just keep farming. Throw the Crunch right here. Even if they're bringing a fighter next, I should be able to get to the Body Slam. The amount of overfarmed, and in comes the Medicham, and this is pretty awkward at this point. Mandibuzz is not the best anti-fighter, like I said. I might be able to reach 3 Aerial Aces somehow, but even then, the Aerial Ace won't knock out, so this is looking to be... Yeah, hit an Ice Punch. I don't shield the first one, because I know they're gonna get to 2 anyway. Kind of need to have to no-shield my Aerial Aces. That's what I'm hoping for. That me no shielding means that they will no shield too. That will be nice. But actually, maybe I wish they shielded there. If they had shielded there, I might have actually had a chance, because then I just need to throw a Hyper Beam. Whereas now I need to throw 2 Scorching Sands, which is more energy than a single Hyper Beam. Go for Scorching Sands here. Remember, the Registeel is still alive too, with a little bit of health as well. Well, they have a lot of health, a little bit of energy. Actually throw the Psychic here, which is weird. Probably should not have shielded that, but they definitely would have been able to farm me down had I no shielded that. Or at least Ice Beam. Ice Punch, I mean. I don't understand why I went for Psychic there. Does it do more damage? It might actually do more damage. Like slightly more damage than a single Ice Punch. Actually, it does. Yeah, it does do slightly more raw damage than Ice Punch. So that's why I went for it. Actually, smart play by my opponent. Okay, next opponent. Deoxys. Lead. Medicham. Switch. This is awkward. Mandibuzz, again, not the best anti-fighter. Aerial Ace buff did make this matchup slightly better, as I'm now able to pace a little bit easier. But I don't think I can take the Deoxys out with Mandibuzz afterwards. So that's kind of trouble. Maybe I should have shielded that Ice Punch. Probably should have shielded that Ice Punch, honestly. This might be a mistake. You know, it's still not bad though. Diggersby is a pretty good answer for Deoxys, since Deoxys can only throw Psycho Boosts on it as far as charge moves go, and that debuffs its counters. And Greedent has Crunch, so they both are fine. Like, Deoxys also has Thunderbolt, of course, but you can't really throw it on Diggersby. That's why I say Diggersby is actually kind of fine. And Greedent is a very Pokemon, so even whatever he throws there, I can easily take it. Counters definitely add up, but I also got Crunches. I'm going to go for Crunch right here on the CMP tie with the Psycho Boost. This is very nice, because this means that the Deoxys is going to have to switch out when I bring in my Diggersby. As long as it's something Diggersby can beat in the back, I should be looking pretty okay. They actually stay in there, which is interesting. The counters are now double the buff. They're really not doing that much. They built up to slightly over a Psycho Boost though. Dip out into a Lantern. I'm going to fire off the Scorching Sands here. Because Lantern's now a little slower to the moves, I would even CMP on the next, but I want to CMP because I think Diggersby loses that. Pretty sure Diggersby loses that. So I can just overfarm here. Could have overfarmed more, but I was almost at 100 energy, so I decided to just throw it there. They shielded up anyway, and now I get to another one right before I can get to the next Surf. This should knock him out, and then a Hyper Beam from Diggers should be able to knock out the Deoxys. Even a Scorching Sands would knock out from here. Opponent still trying though, throws a Psycho Boost. I decided to no-shield the first move, because if they throw a Psycho Boost, yes, that will be the hardest hitting charge move, but then they've also debuffed their counters enough to where they are not really threatening. And if it was a Thunderbolt and I no-shielded, that's like awesome, because I no-shielded the double resisted move, right? So no-shielding first move there was definitely the optimal play. Anyway, next, lead another Deoxys. These were so common. Like, no matter what team I ran, I always saw Deoxys in a ton. Anyway, they switched into Licky Tongue, which is a fine matchup for honestly my whole team, but it's really good for Greedent. So after hitting the Dark Pulse there, bringing it into a range where Greedent will just be able to destroy Licky Tongue, I bring in my Greedent, take these body slams, eat up these licks, and I'm just gonna start spamming back with my own body slams. One coming through right here, as you can see, doesn't do a ton, but might do enough where I can Mudshot farm after this. It's gonna be close. I think I'm gonna have to throw another move. Yeah, I definitely gotta throw another move. But that's fine. That's fine. I have the alignment here. As long as I get my Mandibuzz on the DD, I'm looking pretty good. I am expecting a Steel type in the back, like a Alolan Sandslash, like Registeel, maybe Galarian Stunfisk, and my Diggersby should be able to deal with all of them. So go for the Body Slam here on the Deoxys. This will bring it closer to a range where I can hit a Dark Pulse and farm it down. Probably not though. Probably have to hit 2 moves here with Mandibuzz. Shoot this up. Thunderbolt will do a decent chunk. So I'm expecting, since I stayed in, Mandibuzz might be useful, but it's a Dugong in the back. And yeah, this is where this team does struggle. Dugong, of course, beats both Mandibuzz and Diggersby, so this is not too good. Honestly, I think this team, if you want to like gain a lot of points, this might not be the team just because of Dugong. It's definitely a Pokemon you do see. So if I were to improve this team, I would definitely replace Diggersby with something that deals with Ice types a little better. Like Alolan Sandslash maybe, like Galarian Stunfisk. Registeel could also work, but Registeel is not good enough versus like Alolan Sandslash, which actually, let me think. The reason I have Diggersby is for opposing ground types as well. But no, Mandibuzz is fine against ground too. Actually, yeah, Registeel will be fine here. Registeel will be very fine. Actually, like electric types will be kind of tough there. And it's also not the best versus Alolan Sandslash, but Mandibuzz is fine versus Alolan Sandslash. You can actually win that since you survive 2 Ice Punches, and Foul Plays and or Dark Pulses do a lot of damage. Anyway, this game is not over, by the way. I could throw an Aerial Ace bait here, and then get off the Dark Pulse before they get to the Icy Wind. Does this knock out the Dugong? Gonna be close. Gonna be close. It just barely doesn't, and we lose the match. So Dugong, even though we were a pretty bad scenario there, we still got very close. Like, they're literally 1 HP. So it's a doable Pokemon, even with this this lineup. Anyway, Carbink lead. Terrible. They switch in Medicham into my Greedent. This is awful. I'm expecting a Diggersby counter in the back as well. Maybe it's double fighter. Maybe there's a Garage type in the back. I've seen this with Venusaur before as well. I think it's a solid squad. Just very rock, paper, scissors. So, looking pretty bad. I'm gonna no-shield this. If I survive this, I get to another Body Slam, and I do. Greedent is just so tanky. I'm running a very high-ranked one for all of these Pokemon. If you want to know what IVs you should run, high-ranked. Just as high-ranked as you've gotten. If you got rank 1s, run those. That's probably the way. Anyway, I bring in Mandibuzz into the 1 HP Medicham, and for some reason they switch out into their Carbink. This is really, really good for me. Because now I get my Diggersby aligned. They even shield a move, which is crazy. I do not understand, but fine. I'm going to shield as well. Clearly they are weak to Diggersby in the back. Might be Sableye, in which case I'm fine either way, but keeping my Diggersby alive would be great because I can debuff it. Anyway, I'm going to go for another Scorching Sands here. This is on CMP, but unfortunately, I don't think they get knocked out there, so they get to another move. But I did drop their attack, so this Moonblast won't do much. Even without that attack drop, it would have done nothing, honestly. It ends up being a Victory Bell in the back, so I'm honestly dumbfounded. I don't know why they would ever switch their Carbink back into their Mandibuzz when they got hard-walled by Mandibuzz with their Victory Bell. So, yeah, but you know, I guess that's Shadow Victory Bell users for you. Well, not all of them, but some of them like to do this, and this is why you don't ever back out of your games, because your opponent could always make a massive mistake. Yeah. If you're running Carbink Medicham core, you definitely gotta go for switch advantage there. Alright. GG's. I'll take it though. I'll take it. That was it for today's battles. Just quickly about the team. I think Mandibuzz is definitely going to be a top tier flyer in this meta, as it is one of the only flyers that can really deal with Alolan Sandslash, which I do think is going to be one of the more common steals. Then Greedent, I think it's definitely good, but I don't think it's better than, say, a Licky Tongue in that normal type role. Diggersby, of course, really, really good, but in this team, maybe a Registeel would fit a little better. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. I'll see you in the next one. Good luck with your battles, trainers.